Are you looking to move to Ocean County, New Jersey? Well, stick around because I got just a video for you. We're going to go over a real estate market update for Ocean County and cover a couple different things like the market statistics, inventory, the crazy mortgage rates that we got going on, and some others. But before we get started, if it's your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. On the Live in Central New Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you want to be the first one to know what's going on in either Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get the video started. The first thing we want to cover is going to be the market statistics. Now, when it comes to Ocean County, the median sales price for a home is about $449,000. This is going to be year to date, so from January 2024 up until this video coming out, so about 10 months into the year roughly. Now, that's going to be a 12% increase from 2023, and it's about $25,000 higher than the national average for the US. So the national average is roughly, depending on which website you choose or you check out, it's going to be about $425,000, whereas Ocean County is just rounded off, it's going to be $450,000. Other parts of New Jersey are going to be well higher than that. They're going to be Monmouth County, I think it's about $675,000 right now. So you're talking $250,000 more than the national average. So with Ocean County, it's going to be a lot more affordable than some other parts of New Jersey. And also with the 12% increase from 2023 into 2024, that's going to be a lot higher than the national average. There's a lot of spots across the nation right now that are seeing that typical appreciation for real estate, which is like that 3 to 5% range, whereas a lot of parts of New Jersey are still appreciating at double-digit paces, 10, maybe even 15%. Ocean County is sitting around 12. The average days on market is going to be 21 days, so that's basically tells you from the day a home is listed to when it goes under contract and is pending. Now, that's also going to account, we have an attorney review period here. I know not every state does, but throughout that time period, so a house doesn't go pending until attorney review is done. So sometimes a sale can actually be, or a contract can be executed within a couple of days, but then the attorney review period goes a little bit longer. Now, the interesting kind of a statistic I saw with Ocean County is that the sales in the price ranges where they grew. So 500,000 or above is up 17% from the previous year, and then 400,000 and below are all decreasing. So to me, that just kind of says that the home prices are getting a little bit more expensive in Ocean County, even though they are still relatively pretty cheap in comparison, but they are constantly growing as well, and it's a area that is becoming a little bit more populated too. The next thing we want to get into is going to be the inventory. So this is just the amount of homes that we have currently listed for sale in Ocean County. That number is going to be a little over 1,800. I think it's like 1,825, and that'll constantly fluctuate just given when sales are going pending and when new listings are coming up. So roughly, let's just say 1,800. A third of them, so 600, are going to be adult communities or 55 plus. So that's going to count out a certain percentage of them for maybe your first-time home buyer. The next one is going to be condos and townhomes. That's actually a pretty small one. It's only going to be about 135 listings, and then the remaining 1,100 units are going to be just going to be single families. So with the 1,800 listings, 1,000 of them are going to be 500,000 or above, kind of piggybacking off that number we just mentioned. So the way I kind of look at this is we have a limited inventory. Unfortunately, it's been this way for quite a few years, and we have roughly about like 2.5 months worth. So meaning if we got no more new homes listed, the current market that we have, it would last us about 2.5 months. Anything less than 6 is going to be considered a seller's market, and the closer you get to 0, the hotter a seller's market is, meaning they have more power in negotiation that way. So when we're looking at it, we have a lack of inventory, which usually causes one of two things: either not enough homes. When there's not enough homes on the market, people get discouraged and stop their home search, or on the other hand, it can cause multiple bids, meaning prices get driven upwards. And that's kind of what we've seen here in New Jersey for about 5 years or so, and it's making it a little bit more difficult for that first-time buyer because rates are up, prices are up, affordability goes down, right? Because if rates are going higher, you can't pay, or your mortgage is going to go up, so you can't buy as expensive as a home as you might want. So that's going to drive people to a lower price point, and these first-time home buyers, so that under 500 range, let's just say, is going to get more and more competitive, therefore also driving up the price and kind of knocking out any, I guess, homes that they could be able to afford in a sense. Because each comp is going to continue to outprice the next one, assuming similarities in the home and that kind of thing, right? Let's just take maybe a condo development. Everything's pretty generic. If one's going to sell for $425, maybe the next door neighbor is going to sell for $435, $445, $450, and it just kind of keeps going up. Every new sale is going to hit the market. So every time we get new homes, they go for over asking. It's just going to constantly drive a price war or bidding war up, and it's going to get harder and harder in those more competitive in those lower price tiers. And then we have one of the more confusing topics right now, and that's going to be mortgage rates. So currently, as of me making this video, the 30-year fixed is going to be sitting at 7%. So we're back into the 7s, unfortunately. A couple weeks back, we were sitting in the low 6s thinking, maybe we can get into the 5% range. Didn't happen, unfortunately. And I made this video, a kind of similar video, a market update on Monmouth County about a couple weeks ago, and we're sitting at 6.5. So in between two videos, in a sense, they've jumped almost a full point, which will roughly add about, you know, $250, $300 to a person's mortgage just by that same jump alone, if you assume the same home price and everything. So that's not a, you know, easy for some people to manage. Right? You're going to have to either drop your home price or then maybe put it on hold. So a significant point drop or point hike that fast does mean something for some borrowers. Now, we are actually seeing the lowest new mortgage applications that we've had since July. And if you remember back then, we were talking about possibly lowering interest rates, right? That was like the big talking point for the Federal Reserve. And what they did was, it was either late August, early September, they cut the interest rates by 50 basis points or half a point, right? So that's a pretty significant drop. Typically, they only do in quarter increments, but so when they do a 50 basis point drop, that's pretty significant. They think the economy is going pretty well, inflation's under control, that kind of thing. Well, after the cut, now they've creeped back up another point. So what does that exactly entail for you? Well, a couple of things happened since the rates did drop. Ironically, home sales actually went down 1% rather than increasing like anticipated. You would think that lower interest rates would cause more people to purchase, and that just didn't happen, unfortunately. And with newer mortgage rates or new mortgage applications going down, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon either. The second thing is we had stronger than anticipated economic growth, meaning, you know, retail sales might have gone up, you have more job growth than anticipated, and that kind of thing. So those economic factors. And this is what's going to happen is bond yields tend to go up when that goes on, and mortgage rates follow the bond yields, so the 10-year treasury to be exact, rather than the interest rate set by the Fed. That's kind of a common misconception. Typically, do they follow and go with them? But right now, they do. But right now, we're seeing that that's not the case because they just came down, but mortgage rates then gone up. And of all the craziness, we're sitting right in the middle of an election year and directly in the middle of the actual election itself. So we're less than a week away when this video is coming out. And I think we can all agree, no matter which candidate you prefer, it's going to be a nutty one, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen. And with an election year comes uncertainty, right? We don't know who's going to be president just yet for the next 4 years or the next term. And it causes people to typically freeze, right? They don't know what's going on. They don't know if they're going to be benefit from who is in office or whatever the case is, right? So instead of actively buying or actively selling, people will just hold, wait and see what happens. But that also will create an opportunity, which we'll kind of get to in a little bit, of maybe if you're looking to possibly purchase. So with everything we've just mentioned, where do I kind of see our market going exactly? Well, a couple of things can play out, but here's the most likely scenario that I'm kind of looking towards. Right now, over the next 3 to 4 months is probably going to be the best time to buy a home. The reason I'm saying that is a couple different things. One, we're in the fall market, we're going into the winter market. So right around this time, you're typically a low inventory, but also lower competition. I mean, there's less buyers out there to have to go up against, less of a chance of having a big multiple bid situation, and you might even, believe it or not, possibly negotiate depending on how many people are really out there looking. Our spring market begins usually after Super Bowl, so let's just say mid to end of February, but March time is pretty much when it starts to kick off. So from November, December, January, February, you might be able to sneak into something a little bit easier, because in the springtime, you're going to have more homes available for sale, but also a lot of other buyers, families trying to get in before the summer or the end of summer and everything. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult to navigate. And on top of that, like I just mentioned, we're sitting in an election year. People want to hold because they have the uncertainty of that. And rates just went up. They just went up a full point in about a month span after they just came down a full point. So there's a little bit of volatility there. Everyone doesn't know exactly what's going on. They're just going to, wait till the market gets better. I'll just wait. There's a lot of people that are just sitting there waiting. They're on the sidelines. So if you actually want to get into something, let the appreciation ride out. Remember when last year at the beginning of 2024 where everyone was like, oh, it's going to come down, the market's going to crash, I'll just wait for that. Well, it hasn't again. So everyone that bought in the beginning of 2024 just rode out appreciation. And New Jersey, like I said before, is also gone up about 10%, 15%, give or take. So they just wrote out 10% appreciation the entire year, and they're kind of just laughing it to the bank right now. So I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do. I'm not saying that buying right now feels great probably, but if you're looking for to get into something with the least amount of competition, the least amount of offers on there, even if there's less homes available, you still might find something now and be better off for it later on. And on the selling side of things, I would just say be a little bit more careful and don't have as high of expectations as you might during the spring and summertime. You might not have 3, 5, 7, 10 offers flying out the door right now. We're in our slow months for real estate from November up until about that February timeframe. So pricing right now is definitely more important than ever, and you have a little bit less of a room for error, margin for error in a sense. You have to price not necessarily aggressively, but you have to price pretty close to where your home should be in retrospect, because if you start too high and you have to constantly come downward, people are going to say, oh, what's wrong with this place? Why is it lasting and staying on the market? It looks nice. It probably shouldn't be. Something's wrong. when in aspect, it might just be the price on that point. But you're going to limit yourself from having those maybe at least 2 or 3 offers you can pit against each other to just having to sit there and negotiate one-on-one with a buyer and go for asking price or even less than that by the time you drop the place. And that'll pretty much do it for this one, guys. Please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think is going to happen in our real estate market here in New Jersey in general. Ocean County preferred even better. But with that being said, if you're looking to move to the area, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is down low in the comments and description. So whether you're 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, even a year out, it doesn't matter to me. Let's just get you on the right path towards your real estate goals. If you're looking to move to a different part of the Central Jersey area, check out 2 videos popping up and hopefully help you out a little bit too. Have a great day.